Hi guys. So in this video, we'll be uploading a static website onto Heroku. Okay. So Heroku is a cloud service provider where you can deploy your websites onto the cloud, right? And the good part about Heroku is that Heroku gives you a free tier where you can host your websites for free. There are certain restrictions, but for beginners, it's a great service. Okay. So here is the website that I've already deployed onto Heroku. Okay, it's a simple news app built using HTML, CSS, and jQuery. Okay, so it's not a very complex application. It's a very simple application which is basically fetching data from an API. Okay, so if I search for a particular keyword, what this app is doing, it's simply fetching data from an API and it's displaying it on the website. Okay, so I'll show you one example. So if you search for sports, it's simply displaying top 20 headlines from around the world on this particular topic. Okay, so the goal of this video is to deploy a static website like this onto Heroku. Okay, so this is the code for this website. In your case, you can have any static HTML, CSS, and JavaScript based project. It will work. Okay, so this is the code. It's just one file because I have used CDN for both Bootstrap as well as jQuery. So this is a 4-step process actually. In the first step, what you have to do is you have to just create your project. Like I have already created it, and you have to do one more thing. You have to create an additional PHP file. The reason for that is that Heroku by default won't allow you to deploy an application which does not have a backend. Okay, so what we will do is we'll create a dummy backend file. Okay, so that we can tell Heroku that it's a PHP based application, and what Heroku will do is it will automatically install all the necessary libraries to run a PHP application. Okay, so basically we are faking it. So now I'll create a new file and I'll save it with the name of index.php. So once you deploy your application, Heroku will first go to this file and it will find out that it's a PHP based file, and then it will allow you to deploy the application. Okay, so you have to just write one line of code here, and that's basically this. You have to just write include underscore once, this function you have to call, and you have to simply pass the name of your static file, that is news.html. That's it, right? And now you are done. Step 1 is complete. Our project is ready. Step 2 is to put this project onto GitHub. Okay, because we'll use GitHub to deploy our project onto Heroku. Okay, so I'm going to GitHub. I hope you have a GitHub account. So what you have to do is you have to create a new repository. So I'll call my new repository to be sample news app. Okay, in the description section I'll simply write sample news app, right? I'm keeping it as public, and I'll initialize with a readme file, and my repository is created. Now I'll click on upload files button to upload my files, and I have to simply choose the folder in which my files are present. So in my case it is available in this news app folder. So I'll upload both the files. It's a fairly straightforward process. Yeah, so it's done. Finally, I'll just commit the changes. And now you can see that I have my repository ready. Okay. The third step is to go to Heroku and to create a new app. So I'll just call my new app jQuery news app, and Heroku will search whether this domain name is available or not. So I'll write 1. Now this name is available. Okay, I'll create the app, and as you can see, our app is created. Now there are multiple deployment methods available for Heroku. So you can do this entire process with Heroku command line interface, or you can select the GitHub interface. So I'm going to select the GitHub interface because it's comparatively easier. So I'll click on this button, and this gives me this option to connect to GitHub. Okay, so you have to connect your GitHub account to your Heroku account. So I'll click on this button, and over here you have to authorize Heroku to connect to GitHub. So I'll just click on authorize Heroku. Again, it's a very smooth, and now you can see that I'm connected to Heroku. Over here I'm able to see my GitHub username. Heroku is asking for the repository name that I want to deploy. So if I remember correctly, the name of the repository was sample news app, right? And I'll search it, and you can see that it's giving me this option. So Heroku was able to find that repository. So I'll connect it, and now it's connected. And now we are into the last step of this entire thing, where you have to simply click on this deploy branch button, where we'll deploy the master branch. We only have one branch right now, it's the master branch. So we'll just deploy it. So it might take a few seconds. So over here you can see the progress of the entire process. So you can see this is the message that we are getting. Your app was successfully deployed. So we'll click on view, and you can see that we have deployed our news app. So if you search for a particular term now, this app should work fine. Let's say if you search for USA, now you are getting news related to the United States. Okay, so I hope this was an easy video to follow. So just go and try to deploy your own app onto Heroku. Thanks for watching.